Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SDM TV. Yes, it's been a wee while. There have been some tech issues, some location issues, and, just some life issues. But we're back, and for this first episode, to test everything out, I'm sat down with my partner in crime, Mr. Kev Marshall of Kevvymetal Promotions. Now, how are you doing?
Very good, Paul. Thanks very much for asking.
Good. So today, if those of you that are watching that don't know, Kevvymetal Promotions and Slow Dragon Music over the last year have been working away on a live event series, very much focused on super grassroots shows, giving bands a platform to get started in the Dundee area with heavy riffs, called Mosh Monthly. Now, I feel like I talk a lot in some of these, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it over to Kev and ask him to just explain what Mosh Monthly is.
Thanks very much, Paul. So essentially, Mosh Monthly is going to be aiming to have what it says in the name, a monthly metal event that's going to be hosted for at least growing it in the hometown of Dundee to begin with, maybe branch out a little bit later. But for this period in time, it's going to be monthly metal shows where we'll focus on promoting grassroots music, trying to help some up-and-coming new bands, try to even debut some new bands if we can, as well as bring some of the old guard back so that we can give people a solid show for a very affordable price and get to enjoy the music whilst we're there, because we're always there in person for our own shows as well.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's been going for what? It's a year, essentially. We kind of wrapped in the first couple around the Metal to the Massive seats, but it's been a year of Mosh Monthly. How have you found the first year?
First year was a good experiment to kick off with and a good foundation to start everything with. Starting to make a name for itself. People are starting to really enjoy it, grabbing their memorabilia and their posters and sharing them on social media, which I really appreciate for that. It's come with some challenges, but nothing that we couldn't handle. And what's a gig without challenges, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in general, the bands itself have been absolutely wicked. There's not been a single show that I've not enjoyed. I've been there for every single show and intend to be there for every single show moving forward. Anybody who's not managed to catch some of the bands that we've featured so far, some of them might be making an appearance again. We do have some footage and some snippets of the bands that have already performed. So if you follow us on our social media platforms between myself and Slow Dragon, you'll see some of the highlights that have been featured on our channel, and you'll be very surprised and very excited for what we've got coming in 2025.
So talking of highlights, that was something one of the first things I was immediately wanting to get into was what have been your highlights of this first run? Which bands have you enjoyed putting on the most?
It's been absolutely insane. Starting off as a bit of an unknown, trying to have a good blend of acts so that people can enjoy the shows from start to finish. There's something for everybody, and throwing a bit of weird in there. And to start things off with weird to debut Mosh Monthly, I would have to say the first band on the bill to start things off was Sega Death, and it was a very fitting experience for anybody who's not aware of who or what Sega Death are. They are a band from Aberdeen. They do video game heavy metal hard rock covers of these songs with their own spin on things. It went down so well. Everybody enjoyed themselves, and it was the greatest way to launch Mosh Monthly to kick things off into what it's now started to grow into.
Yeah, man, Sega Death they were a lot of fun. Oh, sorry, is it Sega Death? I don't know. Either way, they were a good crack. Absolutely brilliant way to start it off. And having the big local name in Prague, Solar Suns headlining that one, that was fantastic. I think that ended up getting us starting off the first show sold out, did it not?
Yeah, it was packed like corned beef, to give you a phrase. It was excellent. It's a cozy little venue, and it was a sweaty one that night. So, but everybody thoroughly enjoyed themselves. I've never seen so many happy faces at a metal show when you're to get the mean face on the go, but we've all got smiles ear to ear because the music's so awesome. Sigareth kicking it off, and then obviously ending the night with Solar Suns, which is very fitting because would like to have them again, as you could see.
You're giving the game away a wee bit with the poster in the background, though.
Well, as you can maybe see, but a little bit of a shameless advertisement, I'll admit. But yeah, people are enjoying these as a show, and as well as visually, what we're giving people to look at seem to be enjoying it.
Absolutely. And Solar Suns, you can't go wrong. Brilliant band, really nice guys as well.
Yeah,
Well, that counts
they've,
for a
they've
lot.
been they've well, getting them in for our first gig was absolutely awesome. Having them again was an absolute no brainer. Coming up for their 10-year anniversary now that they're on, so
Yeah,
it could be a great way to celebrate that. So 10 years of dominance in Dundee, all their achievements that they've managed to make for themselves and continue to make for themselves, and let's keep it going.
absolutely. Another great way to start off the year again. But
Exactly.
like you were saying before, that's the venue is quite small. I call it super grassroots. There's only like
Hmm.
100 capacity, and you have to take the bands out of that. Um, so when it starts to get full, it looks really full. Um, but there wasn't when we started doing this, there wasn't really any there wasn't a place for bands to do that, to cut their teeth like that in Dundee. So for me,
Hmm.
that was a big motivator to get on board with yourself and start doing this.
100%. Giving bands a platform to perform when they might not necessarily be able to get gigs easily or maybe not know how to do their own gigs was something that I wanted to help with yourself fill a gap for people, give new experiences, essentially help grow and develop these bands so that when they become more established, they can see where they've came from. And if anybody wants to look back at their history and see it, it's like, oh, debut at Mosh Monthly, is he? Or they've been at least featured on our shows. It's brilliant, and I would love to be. I love that all the bands that have been associated with the shows have had such a positive experience because I've had the exact same amount of positive experience back from them being on there.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And it's a good feeling to be the person that's doing that and making something happen for bands at that level. Because we've had a couple of bands even doing the very first show there.
Yeah,
But
totally.
equally, there's kind of what would you call them, legacy acts? Like I really enjoyed bringing back Man-Made Origin. That was a big thing for me because I used to work with them with other shows a while ago. It's been a long time since we had them on, so I thought that was brilliant having them back at Mosh Monthly for their first show back in action for I think it was maybe 4 years or something, 3 4 years.
Yeah, it was 3 or 4. I can't remember the exact amount, but it's a significant amount of time to be out. So and they were well and truly missed, and there was a lot of people because obviously, as you're aware of, when we were at the gigs, we get to have a chat with everybody, all the bands, all the customers, all the
Yeah,
audience, everybody
mhm,
that works there. So we get to have their feedback face to face straight away,
yeah.
and people seem to be really enjoying it. Saying, "Have you managed to get them on the bill? What's happened there?" Well, we had some surprises for people, and we're going to continue that kind of surprise for there. Hopefully, like what you're saying, bringing back the more legacy acts that that have their. This was essentially their stomping ground.
Yeah.
We're going to bring it right back where they left off, essentially, without missing a beat. And the bands haven't missed a beat in the performance or anything to do with it.
Yeah, so yeah, I do think it's a really important to have a space like that for bands, even if they've been away for a bit and they need to get back in the game. I think it's a useful arena to get your faces back out there, and for new bands. So we've got a few lined up for the start of 2025 as well. I think it's February, March, April.
Yeah.
Talking of legacy bands, we've got Virus in is it March? Is it?
Yes, Virus in March. That's going to be an absolute killer show. They're first in a good while as well. So, like what we've done with Man-Made Origin, brought them back into the fold, and they've started to make more waves going forward. Virus are going to be doing the exact same thing, kicking off Mosh Monthly, headlining their respective show. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, they've got now. I'm trying to remember now off the top of my head. That's the one where we've got Mutilith on that bill, I think.
I will just grab it right here.
Go for it. You got them all lined up, aye?
I do indeed. So we'll get them ready here. We'll just show it for our viewing audience here.
Up a bit.
Virus, Indica.
That's another
Luxera and Mutilith.
Mutilith are a fairly new band. Well, I've seen them at a few shows. They played at Hordes, of course, and just saw them there at Cadaver Concerts, Dundee Metal Fest, the Winter Edition. Absolutely brilliant frontman, great tunes. New Dundee metal. So I don't think we can really claim credit for like the upsurge, but I think obviously there's been a few people doing some things that have played a part in meaning that new, young, local bands are getting inspired to start something up. I think it must be coming up on about half a dozen new bands in Dundee and the surrounding area are playing metal or even extreme metal.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I love being able to give opportunities to these bands. Giving them a platform, as you said, and the venue's a really good one. So, as you said, when it's busy, it looks really busy. So you're getting a good taste of what it's like to go in things before you dive right into the deep end. These little bands as well have been making a name for themselves. We can't take credit, obviously, for their achievements, but it's been great to have them a part of the shows. Some of the bands like that themselves have even asked, "How do you get on our kind of shows?" And there's many different ways that we could help you with that one. One is definitely ask. And some of these have been successful enough to be featured or will be featuring on one of our shows, and I can't wait to give more bands like that a total shot at one of our shows. It's going to be great. Yeah,
absolutely. Bands, don't be shy, but don't get disheartened if you don't get it on the first go. Sometimes you just happen to land at a time when there's millions of people looking for the same slot. It could just be that somebody's got there ahead of you. So be persistent, be polite, and don't hide away. Get your face in there.
Flexibility in your availability does help as well. So when we have done previous shows, for anybody who is not aware, we do advertise as well to give people a shot. We've got some slots that are already booked on the shows, and we've got some available slots that are essentially available on the shows that you can apply for. And it's don't be disheartened if you don't get it. There's most likely we're not going to forget about you as long as you don't forget about us. And yeah, we'll try and get you featured on a show as best we can. But asking is definitely your best bet. But have more than one date available, because normally when we ask for the dates, we give you a complete option. We're doing like in bulk. So rather than just pick one, if you're a little bit flexible, definitely helps because you give us more options to be able to squeeze you in as well.
I think it's a fairly easy one to remember. First Friday of every month, right?
Yeah, the first Friday of every month, apart from January, because we all know why. Nobody's going to have any money. We'll still be hungover from our Christmas meals and our New Year celebrations and so forth. So yeah there is that.
So there we have it. It's a Mosh Monthly collaborative effort between Slow Dragon Music and Kevvymetal Promotions, doing our best to provide a space and hopefully a good experience for bands looking to either get started in the heavy music scene or people who are just looking to get themselves back out there. And as I said, first Friday of every month, and we'll be bringing the refs. Thank you very much, Kev. That's been a great chat. We'll have some more of this.